Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. How is everyone today? So good, I hope. So good. I have lots of things to blab about today. Big surprise. Everybody make sure you have a drink. So, here we go. If you are brand new, please like, follow, subscribe, share, comment on Corbiere-Scott Designs. Hit that heart button on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And then ask to join private Facebook groups, Stitch Along with Anne and Corbiere-Scott Designs Facebook groups. You'll be so happy. So, today we are going to play with the Joni art printable. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to play with this art printable. I love this one. I love Joni. Works out well for me. Good morning, Eva James. How are you? Hi, Sue Bain. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see you both. I've been thinking about you, Eva, since you work in a hospital. Hey, Valerie. Because I've been in the hospital with my uncle for about 2 weeks now, every day. And I thought about, anyway, you were on my mind. And as I watched the nurses come and take such good care of him. Good morning, Keels. It's just, what a thing to see. That's what I have to say. What a thing to see, to witness it. The nurses that just, I know they have many patients to see in their day, and still they, the minute they walk in the room, they're all about him. And that just, as a family member, holy tamale, that just means the world. Good morning, Joni Travis. So, the namesake of this art printable. So this art printable is kind of a funkified version of a zinnia. And because it's full of color and full of many petals and many layers. And that's my Joni. And so I wanted to share, the other day, I think I wrote about this in the newsletter. I know that people probably didn't even know I wrote a newsletter this week because I had taken 2 weeks off, but I did, I promise. I did write a newsletter. And so if you haven't already opened it, please open it. We had a little bit of time. We went up to see Uncle Andy, and he was asleep. And so we were like, well, let's go kill some time a little bit. And so we went for a little drive, and then I was like, oh, Arizona Art Supply is right around the corner from here. And so I was like, well, let's go over there. And so we did, and oh my gosh, you guys. So, oh, please. As I would, and you know, when your head is full of hospital stuff, it's nice to fill your head with something else, like, say, art supplies. Anyway, I found some new colored pencils. Stabilo, new to me. They've probably been around for 150 years, but new to me. But I found Stabilo makes some colored pencils, and so I bought some in some colors that I kind of liked. And then last week I had a few moments every now and again. Hey Sue, hi Vicky Dooley. Where I do you know when you're he's improving, Eva, but real slowly. Hey Lisa, how are you? and today is his birthday, and he's on a feeding tube. So I was like, well, I can't bring you birthday cake, but I could bring you some balloons, and so that's what I think I'm going to do. Anyway, last week I had a little minute to do something just for me. You know, I told myself I always preach about self-care, and I need to take some care of this self. That's for sure. So I covered a few. I think I did this one when we were doing something last week. What were we doing last week? Oh, the letters, the Scotch tape letters. And so I covered a Rolodex card with some painted tissue that I had in my stash. And then I covered this one with some painted tissue I had in my stash. And then I did the one that you'll see, that I'm sure everybody sees in their in the newsletter with my with the aster. Anyway, so I thought, you know what? I want to play with making a flower for one of these. So I have oranges. This is more yellow, orange, and red, and this one is pink. And so I will fiddle with these colors. Anyway, these are not water soluble, I believe. I think they're just straight colored pencils, and so I thought I would give them a try. So let's start with this. They don't have colors either, they have numbers. So it's kind of hot pink is what I'm thinking. So I'm just going to start with some light. Ooh, it's pretty pigmented because I've got no pressure at all. And look at the color that's appearing on these petals. Like I'm just barely touching the surface. No pressure at all. And I'm getting that much color. Kind of digging that. But as I'm coloring, I just bought colors that I kind of liked. So this is feeling quite chalk-like. So I think this might be a pastel. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I did read that on the sign above on the display. It was kind of a hairy day, you guys. You know what, sometimes it's just nice to just walk amongst the things that I love, like, say, art supplies. So I'm wondering if I come in like this with this color. And then maybe layer some other colors in. I was just talking about, one of the nurses asked me what I do for a living, because I said, I have to go home and do some work. And I said, well, I'm an artist illustrator. And so then they were like, well, what do you do? What do you draw? Because people always say, what kind of artist? And that's sometimes hard to answer. So I said that I draw embroidery patterns for a company because I was embroidering on one of my patterns while I was there. And then I thought, well, I create art for people to fill with color. So I'm just coming in with one of my eyebrow pencils, my eye makeup, whatever you call this. What is this? An eyeshadow thingy, spongy thingy. And I'm just going to smear that color just a little bit. Just kind of spread it around and look at how much that lessens the color, which I kind of like because I like to start light and go darker. It's much easier than going darker and trying to remove color, that's for sure. I thought about, like, I know, now I remember thinking as I was looking at these, like, I haven't played with pastels so much. Good morning, Carm. And I thought I have a beautiful painting that I did in art school of with pastels. And so I was like, it's been kind of a long time. And one of the things that I remember from doing that painting is that you can use all the colors. You can use all the colors within, I've talked about that before in watercolor and other things, but use many colors because in real life, if you picked a flower, all the colors are in there. All the colors are in there, and the reflection of color and how the light hits it and all that stuff creates the form of each petal. I know that seems a little woo-woo, but everybody take a drink. Good morning, Nancy Laberty. How are you? Okay, so I've got some pink down there. Let's come in. What if we come in with some, this, I remember it's says orange, but it's, I don't know. Let's do it just a little bit on these petals. See what we can get. Just want to get little bits of that color. Just kind of seeped into the pink. In the newsletter, I talked about how it's been kind of a crazy couple of weeks, but I know I'm doing the right thing. I don't know that I could do much more than I'm doing, but I will say that I need my community. I needed you. And so writing a newsletter, I felt like I was writing a letter to you. Do you know what I mean? And that's how I've kind of always felt when I've written my newsletter, but it really came to fruition for me this past week. So I'm just getting bits of that color. Just bits of that color, of this orange down. And then I'll just blend it in little by little. I saw this thing written, and now I know I saved it somewhere, but to paraphrase part of it, it just talked about how, and it's something that like I've kind of lived over this last little bit, the desire to create inside of us is so important. You know what I mean? And the and that it's not just random, it's part of who we are, right? And okay, I think I'm gonna come in with a purple, and I have this red violet. Let's come in with that, but let's go down toward the base of the petals. See what we get with that. That starts to build some more form. to these petals. Oh, that's making me happy. And this one, I'm not blending quite as well as the other one. I want that darker color to really start to grow. There we go. I like the idea of the color, like these many colored petals. These are kind of fascinating. Now I'm thinking after my visit to Uncle Andy today, I might go and find a more orangey orange. But I do have to get home and take care of this doggy because Jeff's out of town this week. And, you know, every now and again I need to sweep my kitchen floor. And I have deadlines that I have to meet artistically. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, there we go. So now let's blend that a little bit. How about you? Have any of you played with pastels at all? Besides pan pastels. We played with pan pastels here. I'm just curious. Kathy Upchurch. Good morning, my love. How are you this morning? Oh my gosh, Kath. So as I look out the window from the hospital, there's an Upchurch wholesale candy building not far from where I am that I can see from the window. Uncle Andy has an amazing view from his window. He can see Camelback Mountain and Four Peaks and lots of, I think the Papago Buttes, lots of beautiful mountain ranges. And he's up high, so you can see lots of cool views of the city. And one of the, take a drink. One of the nurses was talking about how you can see, like if there's a haboob, one of the big dust storms that comes through here during monsoon season, when you're up so high like that, and they have like walls of windows, and they said you can watch the haboob just like travel across the valley. I'm sure that's something to I'm sure that's something to see. This community helped me keep my sanity when I was caregiving. I was blessed to be on measure to a caregiver. No regrets. Yes, Nance. You're right. But you do need to do those little things to take care of yourself, right? So let's come back over that pink, see what I can come up with. I'm just going to get little bits of color. More pink. It's feeling a little dull to me, so I want to brighten it up a little bit. I'm kind of digging that more. Go. Yes. I know, it's kind of nice, Nancy, isn't it, to those are so freaky and cool to watch at the same time. The haboobs, aren't they, Tam? They very much are. Good morning or afternoon if you are over in the East Coast like me. Yeah. So let's get some yellow on there too, I think. Let's do this center. I'm feeling like that yellow. What if I got a little bit of yellow? That's, I'm liking that. Just a little added bit of yellow. I think this brighter yellow. I think that's kind of adding a little something something to these petals. There's this man that's sitting in a wheelchair outside of the hospital door. He must come and get like some kind of a daily service or something at the hospital. And I say hello to him every morning. And my husband's one day, Jeff happened to be going up with me, and he was like, "Stranger danger, Anne. Don't you? Why do you feel the need to say hello to everyone?" And I said, "Because I like when people say hello to me." Opposites attract, guys. Opposites attract. That's all I have to say. Let's see. Let's see what that brings us. I never use pastel pencils. They look cool. Carmen and I were at Arizona Art Supply yesterday and had a ball looking at everything. Then worked on our retreat books for the rest of the day. Shut up. I just finally talked to Carmen this morning, Joni. I was like, I told Carmen. We talked at like 7:30 this morning. I said, "Carm, I miss my Carm." Oh, it feels like it's been forever and a day since we were able to just hang and be girlfriends, you know. But we figure out ways to make up for it, don't we? So what did you get at Arizona Art Supply? Sometimes I know it sounds crazy, but sometimes I don't even buy anything. I went to Dick Blick with Carm, or with Lori, and you know what? I didn't buy anything. Sometimes it's just nice to just be around it all, isn't it? I don't know. There's something about that. Okay, so I like this. I feel like I might want to, so I've got a little bit of orange on there. What if I come in here and add a little bit of that orange to the center to just kind of round it out a little bit. That's kind of pretty, isn't it? It seems like I have some same here. I always talk to strangers or say hi, and my kids always look at me weird. I know, whatever, Tam. I am liking the way that flower is coming to life with the colors. I am too, Nance. Hi, Judy Krause. I always say hello. Then the person knows you're paying attention. Exactly, Judy. Exactly. So, I am going to come in. I'm going to start on these leaves while I ponder what I'm going to do next on these. I'm feeling like maybe it would be cool. What if I just did a bit of color and then I just spread that around? Maybe that would have been a better idea to like build my layers this way instead of covering the whole leaf. Coming in and just laying some color down and moving that a little bit. And then blend that in. I don't know. It's fun to just play with many techniques, right? So let's get some of that moved around. I've looked at soft pastels while I was at Arizona Art Supply but I did not bite the bullet because I feel like I want to, I don't know, maybe I'm just not ready for that. I mean, I had some pastels in art school, like I said. I did that painting of this little boy. It's a little African boy from, oh, you know what, I'm cutting this out because it's a little bit, it's easier to work on things when it's a smaller piece. Okay. So I love this art printable almost as much as I love my Joni. Ha! Anyway, it has 1, 2, 3. This is one of, I have this whole series called Hello Flower, and they have a slimline, an A2, and an independent piece of artwork, and then a couple of hand lettered sentiments. Everybody take a drink. I feel like I might want to enhance this with regular colored pencils on top of this. I don't know. Because it's feeling kind of darkish. And so I need to brighten it in some kind of way. Just a sec. So I just got my regular colored pencils. So I have my, this is a neon pink Prisma. Let's see what we can get with this. Look, that's already brightening things up. Loving that. Let's just start to layer. I have these Cretacolor, I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, they're from Austria, and they are a pastel pencil too. I remember I bought these in Tucson at an art store down there, and now I don't remember the name of that art store, but you know I find myself at art store wherever I go. But they are, I was remembering that I did have some other pastel pencils. So I wonder, I just want to get some of this bright on each petal. I think that is going to help lighten things up a little bit. Make it not feel quite so dark. It's feeling dark to me. I think that, see, this is starting to look kind of muddy down here, back here. But here's the thing, when it's something like this, like a colored pencil, or especially if it's a pastel, you can continue to layer and layer and layer. All is not lost. All is not lost, right? That's brightening things up quite a bit, I think. And I am just like barely, when it comes up to the yellow on the tips, I'm just letting my pencil just kind of glide across. Down here, further on the petal, I'm giving a little bit of pressure, but not much. But when I get up to the yellow that I put on the tips, I'm just letting that pink just kind of glide over, and so you know what happens. Number one, this was printed on 90-pound watercolor paper, and so if you glide a pencil over 90-pound watercolor paper, even if you don't put any pressure, you are yes, I will seal them. I will probably seal them with this magic stuff my friend Peggy got me. It's a fixative, which is what is a sealer for chalks and the like, called Degas fixative. And this, the cool thing, so this is soft pastel, pan pastel, oil pastel, chalk, graphite, colored pencil, all kinds of things. Anyway, here's the cool thing about Degas fixative, because in art school we used Krylon fixative, but this fixative, you do not have to go outside. You do not have to have well ventilated, blah, blah, blah. This you can do wherever. It's the greatest. It's the greatest, I have to say. So, get you some Degas fixative. This is, see, I'm liking this zinnia much more now. And now I don't even know if I'm going to blend this pencil in. I'm kind of liking the, you know how I love the texture of cold press. I like the how the pencil just lays on top of that, so it's like kind of bumpity. That's kind of making me happy. So let's do right here, that yellow. So that kind of knocks that yellow back just a little bit. So don't be afraid of neons either. Know that your neons can brighten an otherwise gloomy day. Just use them as a blender element. I'm gonna where's that green? Okay, so let's start with this one and just get a bit of color down. Remember, we're gonna blend with our little eyeshadow spongy applicator. Right, little by little, just grow it. There we go. Grow it, grow it, grow it. I think the key is just taking your time. Okay, so I kind of like that, but let's kind of build that, because you know I got an olive green because I can't resist an olive green. So let's just get a little bit of that. And then let's blend. I'm going to turn that over and get a cleaner side. There we go. Ooh, look at that. That's already showing some promise. Let's do this side. Same thing. Blend it out. Yes, kind of liking that. I think I want to deepen that a little bit, but I also just kind of flicking some color out in all the places where I would normally do some shading, right? Where the base of the leaf hits the base of the petals, right? So we want it dark there, and then down the sides of the leaves, so it kind of builds form. Then let's come in and let's blend that out just a little bit. It's kind of magic how that happens. The blending with a eyeshadow applicator. You do have to blow off the excess, I will say, with a pastel. Okay, now I'm thinking, let's come back in with that first color to just kind of give us a nice fuller, richer leaf. And I'm not putting any kind of pressure on there at all. I just want to add some, yep. Add some color. There we go. Okay, I'm liking that, but what if we came in again with a regular colored pencil, lime peel, of course, my favorite, and we came in and brightened that, because lime peel is more of a yellowy, so these colors are kind of a yellowy green, and lime peel is kind of a yellowy green too, but let's do kind of what we did with the petals. We're just going to kind of go over as much as we can with that lime peel, and that's going to just really deepen the richness of our leaf. Yep, I'm making that. Everybody take a drink. I was thinking about the center. I think this is Spanish orange. Yeah, I love Spanish orange. I'm going to do the same thing here with the Spanish orange. And I'm just doing that scrumbling kind of blending technique. And what if I even came out onto some of these petals with some of that scrumbling with the Spanish orange? And remember, it's okay if we go over the edge, because we're going to be fussy cutting this posy anyway. Now I'm thinking, I'm really liking it, but now I'm thinking, what about some white gel pen? Kind of digging the idea of playing with some black gel pen and white gel pen. I'm telling you, I need some time all by myself at home. Ha ha ha. Let's see what we got here. Nope, that's black. I need a white gel pen. You know what? I have some of those here. I have a jelly roller and a 10, and I love a 10 because it's a big, thick line, and that, I don't know, that always kind of makes me happy. So I am just, so I like to, for my stippling on top, shut up, how cute is that? I always try to make like a couple of like bigger dots of color, and then I just come in and stipple like this, right? So I'm gonna come up, make some bigger dots of color, like squiggly, 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 and then blend it out with some stippling. Look at that. So I'm just coming in, so doing some bigger dots and then blend them out with some stippling. That's making me all kinds of happy. That's pretty. dot, dot, dot. Look at the difference. Look at the difference. How that, I hope that you can see that you can see the addition of this white gel pen and how that is really bringing it all to life. So let's, up here. So, like I said, make some big dots of color, of gel pen color, and then come in with little dots, and that will blend everything out. And that will kind of act more as a highlight than more precise dots. Try that. And then let me know what you think. And I think the addition of the white stippling pops all those other colors. Doesn't it make everything pop? I love it. I know. So my other thought was, so I'm going to finish that, but then I'm going to take my black, I'm telling you, if you just have a black gel pen and a white gel pen, you are golden. And then you come in at the places where you know it's going to be a deep shadow again. So like where the leaf goes under the petals, you're going to do the same thing. Make a couple of dots and then fill that in with some stippling. And that's just going to give you some really, this one is more, it's bolder, and so you want to really work that stippling out to nothing. You just want it to fade out to nothing. So it's not so, such a bold statement. Do you know what I'm saying? There we go. Stop it. Okay, what if we did it here? Just a couple of dots, and then stipple, stipple, stipple around those big dots. See where that takes us. I'm loving that. I'm loving that. That is, oh my gosh, it's making me so happy. How am I doing on time, you guys? Oh, 15 more minutes. I could finish this flower. One day when we were leaving the hospital, it was kind of in the evening, Jeff was with me, and there are all these flowering bushes on the, like in the hospital parking lot, framing the parking lot. I picked a little posy from each flowering bush, and I pressed them in my flower press. And now, oh my gosh, you guys, that's making me so happy. So here's my big plan. So every day you get a name tag, right? Every day you get show it up close again. There, how's that? Tell me, oops. Maybe if I have it on a little bit of an angle, you can kind of see a little bit more the difference. There we go. It looks textury, and I love that. I love that. So I hope that's helping a little bit. So, you know, art is everywhere, right? Art is everywhere. You'll see in this week's newsletter that we were coming back from my visit to Arizona Art Supply. As we were coming home, we were driving down Indian School, and Jeff goes, "Oh my gosh, look at that." And there's this restaurant called Starving Artist. And so I made him pull off to a side street so I could get out and get a closer look and open the newsletter so that you can see the Van Gogh that someone created. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's so beautiful. Anyway, I told myself that, so still working on this, but it's coming along, sometimes I take this with me because it's easy to just draw some squares, or sometimes I do it in the evening when I'm just watching TV. But look I have all of my visitor tags in here, and I thought I'm gonna stick them up. This one was on my jean bib, so can you tell it's barely sticky? So I need to I'm gonna need to glue that one down. But anyway, so I thought I will just cover them all in tags, right? And then I thought I could knock it down with some gesso, and then I could build a page on top of that. And I'm thinking I want to incorporate those pressed flowers. You know what I mean? Anyway, my I've been keeping up with my fruit sticker page. I am trying to eat an orange and an apple each day. Sumo oranges are only here until like the end of April, so they're getting pretty slim pickings. But wild twist apples are out, and I think they're here until July, and so you'll start to see lots of these stickers. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that I find a grocery store that has them. Anyway, I hope that you are keeping up with that too. Everybody take a drink. Oh, do you remember last week? We were talking about, Lindsay and I were talking about back in the day, rub-on letters. Because my degree is in graphic design. Anyway, we had this book called Letraset. They came in big sheets, and they were like a rub-on, back in the day rub-on. Anyway, and I said I had a catalog. I still had one of my catalogs. Shut up! Look at this, you guys. Letraset, Graphic Materials Handbook, and this shows you like all different kinds. And it was $5.95. And I think this was. Yep, there's my name. I think this was 1987. So like it's so cool. Like there's a glossary, and then the sheet. Here we go. So this is how they came. They came in these big sheets, of letters, and that's how you laid out like an ad, or like I worked at the Indian Center and I did the newspaper, and so if I was doing I did some typesetting, and then some, like maybe I did an ad for an upcoming powwow, or a new restaurant that had paid for advertising in the newspaper, whatever. Anyway, there were all these different kinds of fonts, right? And you bought them by the sheet. And you want to hear something crazy? American typewriter has always been my favorite. Look, it's the one bulletin typewriter. These are the ones that I liked. Let's see if I have American typewriter marked back here. American typewriter. Look at them all. So beautiful. I love American typewriter. And they came, this was before the advent of like that you could buy a font on your computer. These were like sheets, right? So you could buy them. condensed. You could buy them light. You could buy them medium. You could buy them bold. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they were, it was a different world back then. Anyway, there's like all these different, I just thought might be interesting for you guys to see the different fonts. But then they also had, like, if you needed to do like shading in the corner of something, look, they had, look, so there's all these, they called them dingbats back in the day. Like there's symbols and numbers and all of that kind of thing. But then they also had these things that were like percentage dot screens. So like maybe if you were drawing a computer, a desktop computer, and you wanted the side to be shaded, you would cut with your X-Acto knife. See why I'm so good with my X-Acto knife? You would cut this stuff to fit whatever that shape was. Anyway, what a fun trip down memory lane. They also had tapes, Electroline tapes that were sort of like a washi tape, but solid colors usually, and that's how you like outlined maybe on that same desktop. You would outline, I don't know, keyboards or whatever. And then Pantone markers. Anyway, I just thought it might be interesting for you to see. It's interesting for me to go back and look through it, that's for sure. Multicraft. This place is not in existence anymore. It was on Van Buren, downtown. Anyway. Let's get back to jelly pens, shall we? I'm just kind of pulling that stippling out and getting less and less. As we go along. It's going to be a hot one here today. I think it's 90, 94 maybe. Is that right, Joni? For the day, it's supposed to be like 90 something. Let's do like little bits of black. Just not much in there. Just enough to give the look of a shadow. Little by little. Oh my gosh, I'm loving it so much. And I'm loving the idea of all these layers of different mediums. You know, it's so pretty. I love that the gel pen on top of these pastel-y Hey Peg, I was just talking about you, sister. Let's see. Have you been in your pool yet? No. I put my feet in it. Desiree goes in there every time any chance she gets. She comes over, she just calls and says, I want to come over and swim for a couple hours. And she does. Her uncle goes in with her. No, Lisa, I like it to be like a bath water. She will swim if it's 50 degrees. But you know, that's a kid for you, right? We swam in Lake Superior. Please, Lake Superior. Freezing cold. But what did we know? You know, we were just so excited to go swimming. My sister and I were just talking about we would go on these little road trips with my mom, just the three of us, and it was so cool because she taught us how to read a map. Like, we each had to take a turn being the navigator. So that person, you got to sit in the front, but you also had to read the map, and she would wait for you to tell her like what highway and how long. It was long before MapQuest or navigation services, whatever. But gosh, do we have, and we would just grab our bathing suits and a towel, and we would just take off on a summer's day. And she would just find a place for us to go swimming. It was the best. But now I'm a complete big baby. Are you kidding, Lisa? Hey, guess who I got a text from early this morning? Valerie. She is trying to get to the Michigan retreat. Oh, exciting! I can hardly wait. Fingers crossed. Judy Krause is coming. She's already signed up. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, you guys, you know I love to teach you a million techniques. And the list is always longer than the time we have, but I promise I will whittle it down to digestible bits. But we use them all to build something super cool. You guys, this gel pen is just, it is just bringing it, isn't it? Oh my gosh, my uncle had a nurse the other day, and her name was Anissa. Like Anissa Jones, remember from Family Affair? Anybody remember that? And I go, oh my gosh, you're probably too young to know what I'm talking about. And she goes, Anissa Jones. And I go, yeah. And she goes, that's who my mom named me after. I said, stop. I love that. I love that. Oops. I can't move the date because it's not, I'm just coming in to teach, Lise. I'm not, my friend Audrey, who owns Paper and I, online store. If you are needing some cool product, go to Paper and I. Let me see if I can put a link to that. Paper and I. I think it's Paper and I Marshall, maybe. Let's see. I can't wait to come home. I cannot wait to come home. There it is. There it is. Everybody take a drink. I haven't said that in too long. Okay. It's looking like it is time for me to say goodbye. But I hope I've inspired you this morning to print off your Joni art printable if you already have purchased it, or to purchase it and to play with some artsy techniques on some funky zinnias. I adore you all. Thank you so much, and I will see you tomorrow in Stitch Along, and then Thursday in Pop-In Paint Party Thursday morning, and we are going to be playing with, Lindsay showed this, she used this easy joint tape that you can get at Lowe's. But do you see how it has all these polka dots? Oh, the big ideas that are floating through my mind. And it's peel and stick, I believe. So, there we go. There we go. It's stapled right there. There we go. So it's like this, and then we're going to peel it and stick it and paint it and draw on it and all the things. So that's what we're going to do on Thursday, among a million other things. I adore you all. Thanks so much, everybody. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.